Hello, 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 hello. We got 3-0 here. Let's get more in there. We'll start going. Got one on there. We got Thor here, got one talking. Let's keep going, guys. We'll get some more in the chat here. Make sure we all come in and we like the video, okay? Gotta show some love. So make sure we all come in, show some support. We have more to go. This one will be a long one. I hope we're gonna try to get them done here today. Oh boy. So we're gonna try to get more done here, hopefully. How's everybody doing today? Let's try to have a good time. Let's try to tune in. Watch what's going on here, and I want you guys really respond. Talk to me. Tell me what you all think. Oh boy! All right, we'll get us starting.
Forgiving her husband's murderer, I struggle to understand, and then you simultaneously couple that with how much she demands people stop asking questions. She doesn't want people to, investigate. It just doesn't add up with the natural Christian response, in my opinion. And you can say you grieve differently, but again, you're not living up to the initial things you said at the beginning, which was that you need a space for people to go and ask questions. What would Charlie think about this issue, X, Y, and Z? And every time people have done that, such as Blake Neff in regards to the Iran issue, you say, oh, we don't know how Charlie would react to what's happening, when again, it's a 16-minute video of him calling Lindsey Graham pathologically insane and saying we don't need to go to war and that we actually need to philosophically consider, the Rand Paul isolationist approach. And so it's blatant doublespeak. These people are acting like leftists. But again, leftists has been a term that the institution has used for the last 20 to 30 years in this disinformation war to keep us at odds with ourselves instead of getting to the root of the issue, which is the real evil that Erica Kirk, I believe, is aligned with. And it gets to the deception aspect, which is like, they thought they claimed that they launched a revival, right? And they did. They got millions of people woken up to what's happening. But in the aftermath now, the intelligence agencies very, very tactfully are trying to walk us back into the 2008, 2012 era of right versus left. If you don't like this brazen display of patriotism, which the U.S.A. fight, for example, then you hate this country, then you're anti-American. No, actually, I like events like that. I would love to have two things. I don't see why it has to be one way or the other. Why can't we have a UFC fight and also not go to war in the Middle East? Why can't we have a UFC fight and have homes be more affordable for people my generation? Why can't we have a UFC fight and also get truth on the Epstein files? It is not this one side or the other like fight that you're trying to get us into, all right? Like it's so much deeper than that, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. If evil showed its face, then you didn't do anything to combat that evil. This is what I keep going back to. If the left killed Charlie Kirk, the administration had a mandate to go door to door practically, arresting every leftist and investigating them for their connection with potential terror organizations, right? Because they labeled Antifa a terrorist group. You could go through every person who's liked a pro-Antifa tweet on Twitter and have these people arrested potentially. They did none of that. And so that's my thing is, you say one thing and do another. Whether you're Erica Kirk or the administration, you say that the left killed Charlie Kirk, but then you took zero action to dismantle the left. You're trying to rile us up for the next election to fight the left when you guys are the ones in power. You have all the power. We gave you the power to do those things. In fact, the man who was fighting the fight louder than you all was murdered. We all would have loved to see you go full fascist, and you didn't. So it doesn't make sense to the brain when you logically speak about it, when you don't get worked up, when you don't let these people throw falsehoods your way, and when you don't listen to the labels they try and put on you, because it's all not true, it's all a lie, and just stand on the side of Christ and the truth will be revealed.
What's interesting too, you made such a good point. So like you think about like they brought back the World's Fair this year. We had the UFC fight on the lawn where it's like patriotism, on steroids, right? And it's like,
well, and simultaneously they're staging assassinations.
Right.
Well, those two go hand in hand. If you criticize the massive, excessive, expensive display of patriotism, then you must be in the camp of these people who are trying to kill the president, which I don't think are even necessarily real events. Because if we look at Donald Trump, I think he's trying to go down in history as the man who survived the most assassination attempts. And we know that all the world's a stage, and that Donald Trump himself spent years in the WWE. And, to think that these people are not actors is naive. You have to do that. The amount of money that politics is a bigger Hollywood, except it has real world implications. Right. Erica Kirk is an actress. I know this. This is fact. All of these people are failed TV show people, failed radio show people. They end up in politics because naive people who can't think critically think that these people who tell them one thing are living for them and advocating for them, when in reality they're all just profiting off the lies and the crap that they're feeding these people. And it needs to end. And I truly have made it my life's mission to expose this fraud, these liars, these deceivers, these demons for what they are, because it is deceptive. It is evil, and that is not what Christ tells us to do.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that instead of doing the things to actually restore our country to a better time and a better place where it could actually, be genuinely what we want it to be, they're giving us these like Coliseum games, right? It's just a show, right? Like this patriotism on steroids is just a smoke screen that we actually are making the country better. They're not doing any, and it's pissing off people that are, on the other side, or some people, and maybe not all, but it's like rubbing it in their face. It's also making people that aren't thinking clearly that oh, look, we are making changes. America is, the greatest country in the world, and we are going to make it all better. But it's really, they're not doing anything. It's not making any significant change of any kind. And it's also a distraction from all the things that we want them to do. They're like, no, stop asking questions. Look at all the planes flying over. Look at the fireworks, Just eat your bread and drink your wine and just go to the next game.
Yeah, and I want to say this too. I am a patriotic as it comes, right? I love my nation, I love my country. Same. I would give my life for it. But I think that these things are being used as tools, right? The trial as well. And it ultimately goes back to, and we can move over to this way if you want, the clip that Elon responded to, the anti-Semitism bit, right? It gets to, you cannot point out the greater evil that is at play in our country. And I don't want people to label me, a Russian asset, which is why I said what I said at the beginning of this, right? But if you go look at some of the rhetoric that comes out from Vladimir Putin or other people in regards to Western democracy and who actually controls those institutions, it kind of makes sense then why our federal government and intel agencies would work to now, if you see online, label Russia and China and all of these people the greatest threat to democracy in America, when 5 months before his death, 3 months before his death, Charlie Kirk was laying it out plainly, no, it's not the intelligence agencies, it's not China or Russia, it's actually the intelligence agencies that are our greatest threat. And so it's textbook disinformation, textbook doublespeak. And right now is the time for people to think about what this is worth to them. Do you want to continue watching your UFC fight and gambling for the rest of your life, or do you want to live life the way that God intended, that is free and in a nation that he entrusted us 250 years ago if we can keep it, right? It's up to us. It's not up to, no one's coming to save us, and that's kind of why I'm saying what I'm saying now, because it's now or never. And for 13 years, I had a hand in producing content that I thought would eventually go on to help make a change and save this nation. And I think it did up to a point, and then it became too dangerous. And now it's being weaponized to suppress free thought, to suppress questions. And ultimately, as Charlie Kirk himself said, questions are the most dangerous thing to an illegitimate regime, right? And again, I just want to state this for the record too. Like, anytime we would go to a campus, Charlie Kirk's thing was disagreements come to the front of the line.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've seen that principle lived out by a single person in that organization since his death.
No, did you know? So, well, at least for Erica Kirk, too, on her Bible in 365 podcast that she does once a month. She did it yesterday with James Cadiz, who's a Zionist, who actually is best friends with a general and a major in the IDF. He's also the one that has the connection to Bibi Netanyahu's brother and Victor Marx. It's insane, but
it's just one big happy family, isn't it?
It's nuts, right?
And maybe that's the turning point family she was talking about in that interview. Maybe that's the one, because she definitely doesn't treat people like me as family, even though I was there before she ever was. So I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah, she had her, which is crazy. There's so many times we're saying things like, "I want to hit two things at once." At her, what was it when she was at CLS? Was it her CLS speech when she was like, I was there from the beginning. I watched the blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh, yeah, that's why I quote tweeted it and it went viral. I was like, you didn't build anything. You married into this.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you can.
She's a revisionist, bro. Just like all of them are.
Yeah. They're literally trying to rewrite history.
Yes.
It's what happened after World War II, and it's what's happening right now. And I refuse to let them do it 100%. To a man that I worked very closely with. And again, I had nothing to gain from Charlie Kirk. I believed in him because of who he was and the kind of man that he was and the vision that he had for this country. I worked very closely with him for my entire young adult life. And I was not put in a position of government. I was not brought into the administration. I was not brought into their fold, right? Yeah. And there's a reason for that. It's because people like me and Charlie are threatening to the regime. And they used Charlie, they used his brilliance and his intelligence to get them elected because they knew without him they wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
And then the moment that they knew he would threaten what they actually wanted to do to this country and to us, they betrayed him and they executed him. Yeah. And in the process, they warned all of his friends, you better not get out of line.
Yeah. And
I think to put it as plainly as that for your viewers, especially on YouTube and stuff, like, it needs to be heard. That is what happened. And until Tyler Robinson, until there's that's what happened. And we need to say that, and that needs to be the leading narrative, because historically speaking, the lone shooter always gets proven to be some Fed slop, and there's always a deeper narrative, and that's what Charlie Kirk himself died asking the questions of. He did not die giving a campaign speech. He did not die, trying to get someone elected. So to say that Charlie Kirk would forever just want Republicans to be elected is a lie. Like, no. That's not the core of who he was. Charlie Kirk was the man who went to a college campus to engage the youth and said, disagreements come to the front of the line. Let's hash this out. Let's get to the truth, because truth matters and Christ is real. And what are the implications of that? He was about to get there, and they didn't let him.
Yeah.
If you were locked up at any Illinois juvenile detention center, such as Cook County, the Audie Home, or anywhere else in the system,
and they didn't let him.
Yeah.
And we'll see where this goes, but I'm not going to let it happen. I refuse to.
Yeah, and so if you just look at any of the events that they've had since Charlie's assassination, they make sure to have their own, pre-written questioners that ask the questions, and then they pull the mic, right? Like they did at the Andrew Colvett, JD Vance thing. Erica Kirk on her show, they have the super chats turned off. It's alive. You can watch live. Super chats turned off. You know why? You can't control who asks a question.
Well, she's made enough money. She doesn't need super chats. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but it is interesting, I think, that people that are motivated by money, that do want money, they're like, we do want money,
but we'd rather control the narrative.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. That's what these people care about more, is controlling the narrative and the truth, which shows you that they don't stand for truth, right? Yes. Again, they say one thing, they do another. Actions speak a whole lot louder than words.
100%.
And people seem to have forgotten that. And just because Someone like Gary Melton, who has thousands of followers on Twitter, who never once cared about Charlie Kirk before he died, gets on there and tries to act like an expert on things. Great. Why? You have to go to the root of these. Don't get caught up in the distraction. Go to the magician and go and figure out what the trick being played actually is. Yeah. Don't focus on what's happening. Go to the magician himself and figure out what's happening.
Yeah, he didn't believe in the 30-outs. Like he has his own.
He's such a fraud, dude. These people are all frauds. They're all phonies, and the problem is they're all propped up by one another. So it looks like society supports them when in reality, if there were more people talking as articulately and plainly and calmly, quite frankly, as I am about these issues, and not getting into spaces and just shouting them down, we would probably not see what we're seeing right now. But unfortunately, I hope this video doesn't get suppressed. I hope people clip it and send it and, post it under these people, because it's the truth. It's these people are frauds, they're liars, you're demons, and Christ is king, and none of you stand for truth based on the way you're acting. It's just, you can say you do, that's great, prove it. It's much harder to prove that you stand for something. And everyone who claims to stand for Charlie Kirk, you're not. I actually am, and you can fact check me on that all you want, but you are not waging war on the deep state. You're not talking about the deep state because you're all scared, and you all know the truth that Charlie was about to unmask, because we all know the truth, because it's the truth. That's how the truth works. You don't need evidence when it's the truth, because it's the truth. And I think we all know the truth of what is going on. People are just too afraid to speak up and do something about it. If I have to be the first person to kind of say something, I will. All right, I lost my job 2 weeks into speaking out because of this stuff. I'm not in the best place financially, but it's worth it. Because again, if we lose first principles, if we lose this country, then a job doesn't matter. I can't sit in an office and cut a video my entire life knowing that this country is being stolen under Christians' noses. I can't do it. I can't in good faith sit by and do that. So that is my motivation. Again, I just want to make that clear for your viewers. I'm not in this for anything but that, truly. That is my why, that is my drive. Charlie gave it to me, and I watched them take that from him. And if I'm gonna do what they say they're doing, carry on his legacy. But I feel like I'm actually doing it better. Not to toot my own horn, but again, I keep posting videos of him because that's what this is about for me.
Yeah. And going back to that, who do you think? I mean, what is your overall theory, opinion as to who really is behind it, and from the very top down to all the way, whoever had proximity to him, also an opportunity. Terrell Farnsworth maybe had to be involved to some degree, right? With depending on what you think about the motive death was.
Yeah, I think it starts with your motive. I think it starts with what you believe the motive was, and then from there you look at who benefited the most, right? And from there, I think we can see that Israel and Turning Point USA and its associates have benefited the most, right? And the administration. Those three people. The left has not benefited the most. So that's why I say that the left is a conspiracy. That the left killed Charlie Kirk is a conspiracy theory. That is, it's not true. The left didn't kill Charlie Kirk. It's a conspiracy theory because of everything I've just laid out for the last hour. Yep. So as far as what I truly think happened, I don't know, and I don't particularly care, because I don't think it matters too much. What I think does matter is noticing what has happened and everyone who's benefited and calling that out head on. And then from there, I think, as we've seen with people like Blake Neff, the more that we pressure these people, the more we're going to get to the truth. The more we know, the more we know that now Andrew Colvett was in talks with the FBI beforehand, right? Yeah. And so, again, we just got to keep asking the questions: who didn't do their job that day and why? Once we figure that out, we'll get to a deeper question. Okay, who were they working for? Why were they working for them? What's the deeper, right? Again, just keep asking questions. When you get an answer, ask another one. And don't let them distract you. Don't let them label you anything. You are a patriotic American for doing that. You're not an enemy of the state. You're not a terrorist. You're not working for a foreign government because you want to know what happened to Charlie Kirk. When you notice 4 people benefiting the most are the same people telling you to shut up. That's not anti-American. That's very patriotic. It's very revolutionary, actually. Yeah. And so, again, to answer your question, I don't know. I look at Turning Point USA, who's made billions of dollars in the wake of his death. I look at Andrew Colvett and Blake Neff, who are, inheriting his platform. But I don't even view what they're doing at this point.
You probably remember Michael Burry, the investor who saw 2008 coming before almost anyone else, who bet against the entire U.S. housing market and won big enough that Hollywood made a movie about it. Burry just made his next big move. On May 8, 2026, his fund loaded up on put options against the iShares Semiconductor ETF, positioning for a potential collapse in the AI-driven tech rally. His own words on Substack: "This feels like the final months of 1999 to 2000. Here's why that matters. The Shiller CAPE ratio, one of the most widely cited measures of market valuation, just hit 40.1. The last time it was anywhere near this level was March 2000, right before the Nasdaq dropped approximately 78% over the following 30 months. Today's S&P 500 top 10 are trading at valuations some analysts consider even more stretched than 1999. And if you hold an S&P 500 index fund, as most 401k plans do, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta alone make up over 35% of your portfolio. That's a lot of concentration in exactly what Burry is betting against. Here's what the institutional money has already done in response. Warren Buffett's Berkshire, approximately $397 billion in cash. Ray Dalio, publicly warning of structural capital market shifts. Central banks, 244 tons of gold purchased in Q1 2026. JP Morgan analysts, published gold price targets of $6,000. The pattern is hard to ignore. A portion of wealth out of paper assets and into physical gold. What most retirement savers don't realize is that the IRS allows you to move a portion of an existing 401k or IRA into physical gold without triggering taxes or early withdrawal penalties when structured correctly. We put the entire process into a free guide called the Bulletproof Retirement Kit. Over 10,000 Americans have already requested it. Inside, you'll discover exactly which gold products qualify for IRS-approved retirement accounts and which popular coins can quietly trigger taxes and penalties if you get it wrong. You'll get a plain English rollover walkthrough, so you know every step before you take it. And you'll learn the 3 questions you must answer first on custodians, storage, and account structure, so there are no expensive surprises down the road.
His platform, but I don't even view what they're doing at this point as personal gain. I view it as an intentional destruction of the largest weapon against the deep state, and I think that it is managed decline. That's why I put out the tweet today, calculated destruction, because these statements are so blatantly false and so blatantly against what Charlie used to stand for. They are trying to get this past our generation, so then in the next generation they will have control of the next generation, and that's the point I was trying to make earlier. Charlie was the weapon that they have now got, and they will brainwash your children forever. If they don't do it in the schools, they'll now use Turning Point to do it, right? And that was supposed to be the opposite. It was supposed to be you're being brainwashed to come to Turning Point.
Yes.
Well, now it's like the opposite. Turning Point is propping up the establishment. It just seems like I don't even know what it is. The Bolsheviks. I don't know. Like it's weird, and I think we need to be talking about that, because if we don't, history shows that things might happen. And as far as who's involved, I think that there's potentially a theory that, I've heard that maybe they were trying to fake the assassination, but again, I don't see that being in the nature of Charlie's character. Charlie was the type of man who was willing to walk into the arena and take in people head on. And so maybe there is a thread that he was aware of the threats and walked in willingly, right? And maybe, he always said he would die young and that his death would spark a movement. But I think that, again, it goes back to what movement. And his movement was not just to, indefinitely elect Republicans. His movement was to fundamentally reshape America for America and in the way that Christ wants us to. Not bombing schoolgirls in the Middle East, not protecting Jeffy Epi and his list, right? And I think that is the core of it. And so I again, because I know a lot of these people personally, I don't really like to get into the who done it, because I don't really care, because for me it also kind of breaks my heart, like to see that none of these people who I trusted and spent a lot of time with, traveled the country with, slept in hotel rooms with, even, like, are having the courage to do what I am now. And that makes me ask a deeper question as to, how evil this evil is that we're facing. Because I know everyone's not a bad person. I'm not accusing everyone in Turning Point U.S.A. of being a bad person. I know that there are good-hearted people. They're just like me, who believe in truth, who are Christian, who loved Charlie. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it breaks my brain why I haven't seen more of them asking these questions. So then I ask why, right? I don't care. It breaks my heart. It frustrates me. But then I go, why? What is the evil we are up against? how evil is it? And do people even comprehend that, right? And that's where I feel like the angle I'm coming at this from is very unique. I think that's why I've had a little bit of success here in a month or so. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a lot, and it's, especially for me, it's been a lot to process. I've been working very hard to try and keep myself grounded in reality.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to hone in on it too, like the why, either they're this evil and a lot of people are involved, and it's just like, literally, I was talking about it with my wife the other day, like they're the most evil and it's just so freaking dark. Or I don't know, like they're being threatened, they're being bribed, they're being blackmailed, they're afraid for their own life. It's really hard to.
If you're an entrepreneur, procrastination is your friend, not your enemy. And here's the proof. Hi, my name is Cal Kanai, and I wasn't always a 9-figure entrepreneur winning awards, featured in the media, and speaking on the biggest stages in the world. Instead, I struggled with procrastination and self-doubt that kept me frozen for over a decade. And self-help books, guru seminars, affirmations, productivity hacks, none of that worked in the long run, and I eventually found myself working in a coffee shop for minimum wage. Then I discovered a neuroscience-based framework called the Power Code that changed everything. And here's how it works.
They're afraid for their own life. It's really hard to find out right now, but I agree that as long as we keep asking questions, and that's what Charlie Kirk said too, you just got to keep asking questions. It's the only thing that keeps you free, that we can hopefully, I said this like a couple months ago, I'm going to be so pissed if we make it to 9/10/2026 and we don't know anything really more.
We will.
Did,
we
know,
and JFK, we will. I mean, again, you're expecting the same people who pulled this off to investigate it. It's never going to happen.
We're never going to get a public government admission, just like we still don't have one for JFK. And Charlie was pushing for that too. He's like, release the files, right, about JFK.
And I posted that video of him like 80 times now, where it's just who benefited.
People know about Charlie like we know about JFK. It's like we know it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald. We know Israel's involved. We know there was more than one shooting. It wasn't from the book depository. There was like probably more.
Well, we didn't find that out until 60 years later.
Correct.
And that's kind of the point I'm bringing up is when people get on Twitter and they say, it's been 200 days since Charlie Kirk's assassination and we've gotten no new evidence. It's like, bro, it took 60 years for us to get the truth on JFK. So forgive me for applying a little pressure 250 days out of the largest and most public execution our nation has ever witnessed.
This is way more public.
That's, again, double speak. It is not insane to ask questions less than a year out of an event when it took 60 years for our nation to give us the truth on JFK, and even then, they redacted half of it. So, I don't care. Like, it's a lie. It's double speak. It's very easy to speak, like, to tear down when you don't get caught up in their distraction. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, one of the other things that I was asking myself is not only who had the most to gain with Charlie dying, who had the most to lose if he stayed alive?
It's the same people who are benefiting right now. And
that's what I'm saying. That's interesting.
Yeah, and so I think that there's multiple, how do I want to say this, like streams of interests that you can trace, right? Like the Israel lobby is one, the deep state's another, Turning Point Corporate's another. And I think that to think that all three were not working together is, again, naive, now that we know that Andrew Colvett and the FBI were working together, and Turning Point U.S.A. basically put the Trump administration into office. So, that's a naive belief to have to begin with. But they were also the three that had the most to lose, because I think Charlie would realize that these people were not who they told him they were. And we're all realizing that in real time. And they are now labeling anyone who calls them out on it an enemy of the state, a terrorist. That is textbook dictatorship, authoritarian regime, authoritarian rhetoric, right? And so it's a tragedy. Not only was Charlie betrayed, the average American who put these people in the office was. And again, I go back to what Charlie said. What they did to Trump in Butler was what they want to do to you. What they did to Charlie is what they will ultimately do to you if they have the chance. Right. The problem is Charlie trusted that Trump was on our side and that these people were on our side. And I don't know whether they got bought out. I don't know whether they were all evil from the beginning. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter. They did not do the right thing in the hour of crisis, and they continue not to. And they continue to bow to not Christ, not Americans. They continue to bow to the synagogue of Satan, and we just need to call it as it is.
100%. I want to play the video, and we're going to continue, but I need to get through a couple super chats before it piles up too far, and then we're like way too far behind.
Do you think about
all right, we have Chaz Marin. Jesus Christ is the only way, only truth, and the only way to heaven. Christ is King. I agree 100%. Thank you for your donation.
Based. I agree.
Whimsisms. Although Charlie suffered the worst fate, it wasn't just about him, also about destroying the organizational structure that could move as one unit. Yeah. Thank you, Matt Bell, for becoming a member. Quick gaslighting us. I like that handle. This is what it sounds like when people are telling the truth. God has got this. Thank you for your bravery, Matt. Thank you for your bravery thank you for all you do. Christ is King. Thank you, man. We got Sunshine 77. They are using religion as the Trojan horse. Yeah. I mean, like, they're definitely hijacking our faith and spirituality.
They are not. The Judeo-Christian, and this is what I'm writing about in my book, guys. This goes back far. This is like Protestant Revolution, like Protestant Reformation, in my opinion, like a satanic deception of Christianity that has resulted in what we're seeing now, right? You can kind of trace that. So I agree completely.
Have you heard of Jay Dyer? Do you know who Jay Dyer is?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. He's actually part of the reason that like got me on this thread to begin with.
Good. Did you see his most recent episode with Tucker?
No, I didn't know he did one with Tucker. That's awesome.
Last week. You got to go watch it.
That's really cool.
I love Jay Dyer.
Yeah, I'm wearing like an Orthodox shirt now. He's like part of the reason that got me onto Orthodoxy and all that. So
yeah. Wait, I missed one. This guy got to get on more podcasts. Well, he's starting his own.
Potentially. I'm trying, dude. I made the YouTube channel yesterday. I did Stu Peters a couple days ago. Go check that out.
Hey, everybody, it's Tony Robbins. Listen, I've spent the last 43 years now working with people all over the world in 100 countries to show them how they can improve.
I made the YouTube channel yesterday. I did Stu Peters a couple days ago. Go check that out.
Project Constitution yesterday.
Send this to people so they can see the things I'm saying. So they know I'm not crazy. They know I'm not a blatant, anti-Semite, and I'm actually just trying to save this country like anyone else should be.
Yeah, and I'll talk more with you too off camera about developing your show if you want to do that, man, because we need more people like you and myself out here doing this. So. And yeah, anyone that wants to clip this show in context to combat whatever those crazy
or out of context, I'll tear it down. I don't care. Lie on my name.
I mean, that's true. Then
you can the truth over here.
You just right back at him. Okay, I did that one. We got a couple more. We got Winnie PDX. Do we have any insight on Charlie's parents? Do they buy the Fed slop narrative?
I actually have a perspective. I don't know them. I've never met them. Allegedly, potentially, Charlie's dad was involved in the creation of the Trump Tower. I don't know. It hasn't been fact-checked. I've heard one thing. Someone fact-checked me the other day, so I don't know whether that's true or not. There's a potential that is. What I think is interesting, though, is if we think that all of these people are federal agents and or actors or whatever, and we've looked at what's happened in the trial, the senior director of development for Turning Point USA, Stacey Sheridan, was managing Charlie's parents. So why is the director of fundraising, donors at Turning Point, managing Charlie's parents at the trial? That just seems, shouldn't she be doing her job as director? Why are donors also in that same week reaching out to me, giving me, Jewish mystic texts that they saw in the same building where Charlie's studio is? There's just questions I have there. And then I think it's interesting as well that Erica Kirk is now speaking on behalf of his biological family. That to me speaks volumes. I don't know if they do or not. I don't know if they're even allowed to let us know whether they do or not. Again, we cannot comprehend the levels of evil we're dealing with. Look at what they did to Charlie. To think that they wouldn't force someone's parents to just shut up, I think is pretty naive.
Yep.
And they have the power to do it, like they do. And look at what they did to their son. To say it that bluntly, it's hard to hear, but like, these people want to kill us all. 2030 is a great reset for a reason.
Ask yourself this question. The 3 times that I've seen Charlie's parents since the assassination, right? Tarmac, okay, on the tarmac. Who was closer to the parents, Stacey or Erica? Stacey. The White House, when Erica was receiving the Medal of Freedom, who was closer to the parents, Stacey or Erica? Stacey was. And then at the courthouse, who was there escorting them in? Stacey.
And at times it felt like Stacey was almost like put in the company to manage and handle Charlie, kind of baby Charlie. I don't know. Like when she entered a room, dude, like the air left the room. I kid you not. I was like, you don't talk to Stacy, you don't ask what she does. Like it was very much don't ask, don't tell. Like it was weird, right? And I noticed that from the onset. And so that's where I go back to, like, this was not something that just happened overnight. This was not something that just took place in 2025. Right. This didn't happen after we got the president elected. This was, I think that they identified Charlie as an asset, and they used him to get what they wanted. Mm-hmm. And then the minute they realized he would be a threat,
yes,
they also are using him to further that end goal.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
Yeah,
you just have to take a step back, look through history, not remove yourself from history, put yourself in the history book, and realize that we will be reading about this one day. It's up to us to define who writes that truth. Yeah. Who defines what happened here? It's up to us to define that. And I waited for 10 months to see if anyone else was going to come out, and no one did. And so I did, like people in this proximity, right? And so, it truly is up to us to rewrite the narrative, to speak truth to power, to not let demons lie on innocent Christian man's name who isn't even here to correct it.
Yeah, I mean, like, they would allow him to be around as long as he was benefiting them. But the moment that he posed any kind of significant risk to them and their future plans, he actually became more beneficial to them dead, because they could make him say whatever they want now.
And he became a martyr against the left.
Yeah.
And they could conveniently ignore, the deep state and everything that Charlie was basically sounding the alarm on in the last 6 to 12 months before his death, even as far back as 2023. And it's just so apparently obvious to me what's happening, because I was there for so long. I felt a lot of this taking shape early. I didn't know what it was back then. And then in hindsight, it's like, wow, I should have just, because again, I've said this multiple times too, they worked to build a culture in which, as an employee, regardless of how long you'd known Charlie, going to talk to him would be seen as an act of subversion. Again, kind of like what they're trying to get the country to believe now, right? Asking questions is anti-American. If I was to go to Charlie and raise anything, it would be anti-Turning Point. It would be, all hell would break loose. And this is a guy I met when I was 15 who was 18. Like we met when we were kids.
Wait, so they were like significantly isolating him from people within the organization?
Yes, top to bottom.
You had to go through other people.
Yes, that Tyler Boyer had put there himself, dude. That's what I'm saying. He was managed like an asset from top to bottom. Directors, managers.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up. You're invited to join Phoenix Energy.
Top to bottom. Directors, managers, they all were approved by Tyler Boyer. I watched people I was friends with, Matt, who I would be sending Nick Fuentes clips to. We'd be talking about the JQ, all this kind of stuff. Get brought up as a manager overnight, flip like a light switch, just corporate Turning Point rhetoric. Nope, we got it. And I was like, who are you? We were friends. Like what happened to you people? Like, and like that in and of itself was just weird. And, it's a small instance of it, but yes, like literally, the access to Charlie was heavily filtered through Andrew Colvett, Tyler, Marina Minas, other people that were put in positions of directors. And that's also where, Charlie spoke at length about work ethic and how much work ethic meant. And I'm someone who prides myself on my work ethic, quite frankly. I spent so much time around Charlie. How could you not?
Yeah.
And then I sat there, for years as a young person, and I watched as Tyler brought in people with awful work ethics. And were elevated to positions of influence, directors, managers. And I was sitting there as someone who, as long as I'd been there, just kind of did the right thing for the sake of the movement, for the sake of the mission, for Charlie, whatever. And I obviously didn't see the results I was looking for. I never got a chance to kind of make an impact in the way I wanted to. I made a documentary on the FBI, funny enough, where I interviewed an FBI agent who said that if you don't think the FBI is already monitoring Charlie Kirk or even people like yourself, this is in 2022, then you're not listening to anything I'm saying, right? So I was aware of this long time ago. I felt it. I knew what was going on. I just didn't know how big it was going to be and the connections, right? But Marina's the one who didn't let my video go on YouTube because they were afraid of it being demonetized, right? And so then it's like, you don't actually care for the truth. You just care for money, whatever else. But yes, all these people were installed slowly over time, over the years, by Tyler. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. You're on both sides, Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, your career is made or broken by Tyler Boyer, your relationship with him. And I think that the financial aspect of Turning Point USA is coupled with that. There were a lot of people, dude, they would just they would go director, and then if they had someone they wanted to make a director, they would just create senior directors. And so now they had like 2 people getting director salaries. And it's just, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And I think that Charlie, who was so isolated from the company he built, that had become managed by people that Tyler himself put there, started to kind of catch on to that after the election. I think that during the election, he was prioritizing saving the West and putting people that he thought he could trust into positions of power to take the action that he himself thought was necessary to save this country. And then after the election, he was like, okay, all right, let me look at what's actually going on. Let's kind of take a look at this Doge audit. And he didn't get a chance to do that. Now it doesn't matter because they've made billions since his death. But I think before he was starting to get onto that. And I think that, again, you ask who had the most to lose. It's Tyler Boyer and everyone that he had installed in a position of management that was not put in place to be effective and to advocate Turning Point USA effectively. Rather, it was put in place to manage it. And I think we've seen that now.
Yeah. He was about meritocracy. That was one of the things, it's about it's not about what race, gender, nationality, whatever you are. It's about you earning your way to the top or to wherever you are, right? Just earning your place, just on merit, right? And you look at, and so Matthew Tucciarone said the same thing about Tyler Boyer and the people that he brought in as well. They weren't people that earned their way to the top by working hard. They earned their way by being people that could be controlled by them.
Loyalists. Yeah, blind loyalists. If you didn't ask questions, you were elevated. If you're like me, if you're like Aubrey, if you're like Matt, if you are like Charlie, quite frankly, if you question things, they don't advance you. And it's funny because you talk about delivering results. In spite of that video I made not going on FBI, it ran to 500,000 views in 7 days on Rumble. It's still Turning Point USA's most watched video on Rumble. If you go check it right now, sorted by views.
What is it called?
It's called FBI Whistleblower, The Enemy Within. Go to the Rumble and search it, change it to most viewed. My video should pop right up unless they've taken it down. But it also went on to win a Gold Telly Award that year, 2023, for a documentary. And at the time, I was 23 years old, I think, and was a producer, I think. And I went in around the time that they were doing reviews and raises, and I was like, hey, guys, here's some results I delivered. Can I get a reasonable salary for a producer now? Because at the time, it was about 20 grand below. Yeah. Again, I'm a young person. It's a grassroots organization. I'm sacrificing a lot in spite of this because I believe in these people. I trust them, whatever. I just delivered an award-winning documentary that racked 500,000 views in a week. Can I get the rate of a salary for a producer in Arizona? The average rate. I wasn't asking for anything insane, right? I was asking for the base salary rate of a producer in Arizona. And they laughed me out of the office. And at that point, I was just like, all right, cool. I kind of see what's going on here. At that point, we had a new director brought in to production specifically who has a very sketchy background. He spent years in Europe running drugs and, was very open about that. And then, he comes to Turning Point, and now in hindsight, I'm like, cool. So did you make a deal with the feds? And are you now being used? Again, it's just questions I have, right? Because, there's been videos of him talking to Chinese state media as well. So it's just
is he still there?
Yeah. His name's Marcus Wada. He's the director of the new documentary that's coming out. That's produced by Turning Point USA Productions and a bunch of people I used to work with. Terrell Farnsworth is also on the credits list.
What is it about?
It's a documentary on Charlie's life, but if I was to bet, they're going to wait.
That one.
I bet they're going to wait to release until after the verdict. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. I want to know where all the footage from the cameramen that day that aren't VI guys that are Turning Point USA Productions camera ops.
The front left and the back left.
I want to know where their footage is and why we haven't seen it yet. I want to see it all. I want it to be played in court. If it's not, that indicates a deep state cover-up, in my opinion.
Dude, so I've gone back and looked at all of the campus events from 25 from the spring, campus tours, and then 24. The front left camera and the back left camera on that day, because sometimes it's on the other side. It depends on the setup of the campus. Obviously, you know that, right? But those two right there, I think, would give us way more answers than...
Dude, and I said this the other night. I talked to the girl who was on the camera.
The one in front, right?
I talked to her the week of. because again, 9 days after was when Candace was already coming out questioning things. It was very much in her nature. I knew that's what she was going to do. When Charlie died, I knew what was going to happen. I was like, they're going to use this to label Candace a crackpot anti-Semite, and then they're going to roll out crackdowns on speech, because that's where Charlie was going. And I think
they are trying to do that.
And then we see that happening right now. And so, I was already afraid of that happening, but at the same time, I was also very skeptical, wanted to kind of trust things, at least initially, as we all do, right? As we all do.
Yeah.
So, the week of, I was kind of skeptical of the things Candace was saying. I was talking to her, and, the text that she has said has always stood out to me, which is, if she wants to see happen, play my tape, play my camera, play my angle. And again, I said it the other night, I'll say it again, roll the tapes. It's not hard. We know it exists. I know the footage exists. I was behind that camera every day practically for a year. And, I would love to see that, to just, again, if you want to call me a conspiracy theorist for saying it's not a bullet, prove it to me. Show me the footage that Jordan's camera was running. Show me that footage. Show us all. If you guys stand for truth and you care for truth, prove it. Roll the tape. We've all seen the video already. It's not going to affect us anymore. That it's in a little bit higher quality. In fact, it will probably help us all put this thing to bed once and for all. If you want us to shut up about it, roll the tape, Turning Point.
Yeah, we just
Terrell,
want answers.
Terrell, no, I want Terrell to hear this. Terrell,
go ahead.
Play the tape. Because by not, you are all indicating, if not guilt, complicitness in this. Because why haven't you, for the sake of truth, for the sake of Charlie Kirk, who gave his life for truth, just played the video that is as close as the camera I'm recording from now was to Charlie? It would end this entire debate, but he hasn't, in my opinion, because this is a deep state cover-up to roll in speech about anti-Semitism, and all the speech that we're having online right now is all being documented. We're all being put on lists. This part in our nation's history, friends, it's going to get darker. I promise. It doesn't get brighter from here. It is up to you all, including myself. I can't do it alone. To stand up. It's time. I'm sorry. And again, I'll say it again. Turning Point. Play the videos. Play the audio, please. I'm begging you. Yep. You guys have it. Release it.
So, couple questions. Have you spoke to the girl? You can say if she wants to not have.
I did recently, and I never got a response. And that's the thing. I've noticed my relationships with these people since coming out have pretty much ended. So
these two cameras are not Visual Impulse. Those are Turning Point.
No, the two under the tent are. They're the ones externally around the tent. The other guys running around with cameras and stuff. Yeah. Those guys are I would imagine Turning Point U.S.A. Productions.
Got it.
And that's why I'm saying I think some of this footage is going to be in that documentary, and I think they're waiting for a verdict. Because if footage makes it in that documentary that wasn't admitted as evidence, we can't go back once a verdict is made, right? But what we can do is call for evidence beforehand, and that's what I'm trying to do. Is I want to see that footage from every camera that was there. There's at least 5, I think, that I've counted. The one behind Charlie, the 2 facing him, and 2 to the left of the tent.
Yes.
I want to see all that footage. It should just all be released publicly. Yeah. Put it on the internet, put it in a Dropbox folder, let us all watch it.
This is where my story begins.
We're going to pause it after this one.
Overcoming.
Pause it right now.
Why haven't you? Because you're hiding.
Well, I see in the chat there you're asking her, yes, I was with, you see a picture of me on Fox News. No, family did not invite me to come there. I wasn't there, okay? Like I said before, I voted for President Trump. I did. I stand behind President Trump. I stand behind him. But it wasn't about President Trump when I went down there. It's about for Charlie Kirk. Okay? Charlie Kirk had meant a lot to the American people. Charlie Kirk was able to speak to the youngsters and have open, it's called the open dialogue. This is the one thing that I've been trying to do for a long time, you guys. So what I've been seeing is that what I don't like right now is what I'm seeing what President Trump things are going on is that no one has been arrested. The whole thing is what Charlie Kirk has been shot. We've been lied about too much shit, and I'm getting tired of being lied to. I think, exactly what this young man says, show the people the truth. Show them. Show the cameras. Stop hiding it. That is the problem that I have these days. is that, you know, we're not being told the truth here. We're being hid. We're basically, the own administrator is basically, basically not trying, they are. They are distracting us from the main thing, what's going on now. We have all these things going on. No one has been arrested. I'm still disappointed. That whole thing is, the January 6th there was a setup there. People died. Patriots died. Not officers died. 0 officers died. And we are being gaslit here. We're being played here, and I don't like it. I demand justice. I want things to be done. That's what it'll come down to be. Yes, I believe that Erica Kurt is Erica's a liar. Yes, she is. There's things that I think, you know, the problem is that American people are so, I don't know, they're so, you know, they've been convinced, basically been brainwashed for so many years, that they're not realizing that Erica Kurt, if you all go back and do your research, Erica actually was in a relationship, actually was in a relationship with another person in Israel. Okay, so yes, I mean, this whole thing is, if you look at it, with Israel, everything all happened. This all happened exactly when Charlie Kirk said, "No, I want nothing to do with you guys. I want nothing to do. I don't want your money or nothing." And as soon as Charlie Kirk said that, this all happened. Now put everything together, guys. Put the puzzle together. When Charlie Kirk spoke his mind and said, "No, I don't want nothing to do with it," then strangely, Charlie Kirk's gone. He's gone. Add it up, guys. The whole thing is Israel has a lot to do with what's going on here. Erica too. I mean, look at the pictures. You guys see the body of Charlie Kirk? Come on. Do you really think that was him in the casket there? That wasn't him. Look at that hand. That wasn't him. And then the way they tossed his body into the vehicle? Come on. Come on. You really think, you guys know anything about when somebody gets shot, you call the paramedic, you start doing your CPR, they didn't do nothing. All they did is they tossed him like a rag dog right in the car. Oh, and you know, they lied about they totally did CPR, all this stuff. They didn't do nothing. They did exactly nothing. They did exactly nothing. All they did is turn around and tell everybody, "Oh, we did CPR." No, they did nothing. They tossed it right in the car. You know, they need to start being honest here. Look at that stuff. All this stuff was fake. His arm, come on. You look at the hand. I mean, I wish I had the pictures right now. I wish I had the picture. Come on, that hand, does it look like his skin color, his skin tone? No. It's a thick arm. Oh, bullshit, man. Come on. It's time for the American people to wake up. We're all being distracted about everything going on here. No one's been arrested. Everybody just keeps doing whatever they want. You know, thing is, the midterms run a corner. It's for the American people to wake up and start spilling coffee and start seeing. And my thing is here, this man here, he has an X account, and he gets censored because he spoke his mind. He gets kicked out. He basically got censored on X. Come on. I thought the whole thing basically here, you know, X was totally a free speech platform, and to see him got kicked off there, that's wrong. Do you guys think so? Do you guys think that's wrong? Do you think so? I didn't drive all the way there, buddy. There's multiple of us drive there. No, do I feel silly about driving there? No, I do not feel silly, because you know what? I'm for Charlie Kirk. You know, I mean, all the respect. You know, we didn't know all this stuff right away. When you started doing more research, you start seeing things. Okay, that's the thing. Is, do I feel silly? No, because you know what? What I want is the truth. I only demand is the truth. I demand that people start being arrested. I'm really getting tired of seeing this stuff keep going on, and no one's been arrested. No one's been arrested. January 6ers died. 0 police officers died, and all these patriots died. And you know what? Nothing's been done. We're just sitting watching it happening. Like it does me nothing. I've been doing my research. I do a lot of research, right? I research a lot of things. What do you do? Do you do any research? Do you do any research? Besides come to my channel with your fake channel name and try to, and come here comment. Do you do any research? Did you see how that, the election was stolen in 2020? Did you see that? Because the election was stolen in 2020. Did you see that? Did you see how the corrupted judges there were basically stopping and bringing the evidence in the courtroom? Did you do your research on that? Did you? See, the thing is, you want to ask me why I didn't do my own research. Why did you not do yours? Because we had corrupted judges. If you go back and do it, you will see the election was stolen in 2020. So, see, you guys need to start doing your research, okay? I did my research. I know the election was stolen. I knew that. I knew that the Epstein file that Trump was never on it. He still was never on it. A lot of the Democrat Party were on there, but Trump was not. That is called researching. Did you guys do that part? No. But we need to get back on the main topic. The main topic here is that we know we have the midterms right around the corner, and we need to start doing our own research and start looking at what's really going on here. And start calling these people out. We, people, demand justice. We want to see those people arrested. Now on. Let's get back to the channel here, because I'll go all night.
100%.
Honest people don't hide things like this. And you can say that you don't want to corrupt the case. Okay, is that because you're trying to convict an innocent man wrongfully and in a kangaroo court? Because this seems like the one thing that would shut everyone from Candace Owens to Baron Coleman to you to me up.
Yeah.
I just want to see the footage, guys. It's not hard.
It's for answers. We want answers. That's why we want to see it. We're not, and they try to
That's what I'm saying. It's doublespeak. It's akin to left. They hate America and they want us all in camps.
They're like, you're so sick. You want to watch that. Anyone that wants to watch that is so.
I don't actually. I care a lot about what happened, and if you want me to believe it's a bullet, I'm going to need to see it entering his neck in 4K because we have the technology to do that, and the fact that you guys aren't is kind of insane. But.
And I said the same thing about if something happened to my wife, as hard as it would be, I would not do what Erica did and say, I don't want to see, which is weird because then she goes into the hospital and the surgeon's like, you don't want to see how the bullet ravaged his neck. And she goes, get out of the way. I want to see what they did to my husband. And it's like, okay.
They contradict themselves every time.
But I would want to see the video so that I could know that the official narrative is what the videos capture, right? I would want to know how did my partner die and who, because then I could start tracing it back from that. Now I have a good understanding of how they died. This is what all these people are saying. It doesn't match with that. It's going to give you a starting point. But
He thought I was wearing Gucci perfume, but it was these laundry pads. I do this laundry trick, and it makes my clothes smell like a pear.
There you go. So ask that question. Why does she not want to go in there and go look? And go see for herself. Why? Let's ask that question. Why do you guys think that? Answer that question. If you had somebody who just died, basically been shot, would you not want to go and see your partner? Yes or no? Answer the question. That's what you guys answer. If you had a partner that just died, would you want to go see it? Would you like to go see it? Get to see what happened? Yes or no? Because that's pretty shitty that she didn't want to go in there. Come on. You guys don't think that's kind of strange? Kind of messed up? Because, hey, if I had somebody that know that, hey, just basically avoid me, act like I didn't care, if I was able to survive, man, and knowing that you didn't come and check me out, nothing? Well, I guarantee if I was still alive, your ass you'll be hitting the curb. Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more, because that's what I'd be saying, your ass. Back to the show.
That it's going to give you a starting point. But she, in my opinion, probably she already knows. So that's why she's not interested.
Yeah, also she's the one who benefited the most off of his death. Nobody knew who Erica Kirk was before, unless you were kind of vaguely associated with Turning Point. Yeah. And now everyone in the world has heard her name. Yeah. To say that she wants the truth on this, I think is hilarious, because we all know she doesn't, because the truth would expose who she really is. Yeah. And I know parts of that I haven't made public yet. I will be at some point. But again, like, there's a lot that people don't know. There's a reason that they're working to keep it private, and it exposes a greater evil. I think that many are either afraid to call out publicly, or they're just unaware of. In both cases, enough is enough, and it's time to start. It's time to start shouting from the rooftops for my fellow Christians, because I don't want us all to suffer at the hands of these demons anymore. Yeah. It's kind of insane. Well, and her mom's connected to Brad Parscale, and it's one big happy family, yeah. and they tell you who they are when they say things. They just use doublespeak. I think when Erica said it's one big Turning Point family, I think she's implying to the federal government connections that helped her become the CEO of the largest pro America anti-deep state group that is now propping up the establishment and not doing anything that we elected it to do. So I think it's pretty clear when you lay it out like that, and then people will come in and try and say, I'm attacking Charlie, as if like I wasn't there up until 4 weeks before he died and was the Charlie kid in high school who was getting attacked. Like, you guys all came into this when it was lucrative. I was in this game when it wasn't cool to be a conservative, and I'm still a conservative. I just don't align myself with you guys anymore, so I'm not going to call myself a conservative anymore. I'm just an American. I'm a Christian, and Christ is King, and you guys are acting in ways that are not aligned with Christ at all. So, I don't know. Let me read a couple more, and then we can get to the video. And then I was actually going to ask you some questions too about you, because you were there when here, I'll stop myself before, because then we'll get into it. Okay, you're a great speaker, Mitchell. That's from Pete Stronach. I'm so bad at reading handles. It's so bad. Thank you, Mitchell, from Matt Bell. We got good on you, mate. We will both of you, Australian, but this stuff runs deep down here as well. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of good Aussies involved in this. You have like Muppet Masher, who took it to Blake Neff the other day on X, and then Matthew St. Baker, and there's some others too. Journey of E says, joining late, but thank you, Mitchell, for speaking out. May God protect, bless you. Also, what's the symbol on your shirt mean? Yeah, it's an Orthodox cross, and all
right, you're saying you were saying something about that. Well, she lost her husband. Well, number one, first of all, you just heard a man spoke just now. She didn't really care about her husband. She could have wanted to go see it. So you know what? Maybe you need to really do your research, buddy. She didn't care about her husband. And third of all, me talking about what's going on, there's nothing around that. Wake up. You don't hear the truth there, young man? Well, whatever you are, he, she.
FM is just the company that designed it, Finance and Maneuver. They are a local company out here in Scottsdale. Go check them out. They make some really cool anti-government, anti-bank merch. I think all you radicals would love it.
I like the shirt. I'm actually going to look it up too.
Say you have a low credit score and you want a credit card that helps you rebuild credit.
She didn't care about her husband.
Where do you go?
She could go inside and go see it.
I like the shirt. I'm actually going to look it up too. Next one we got. Hi, Mitchell. Knowing Charlie, do you think he started to sense something off with his team? Also, did Jordan said she would give her footage?
I feel like maybe there was a sense in which Charlie felt that, but I also think that it's one of those things where he had people around him from the beginning that he trusted, and I think that those were the same people who betrayed him, and it was one of those things where he was in too deep, and I think that even as far back as the text he sent Candace, I think he recognized that his impact would ultimately be greater than politics, and we're realizing that. Right, for people to call people like Candace or myself crazy for saying the things we are, because we're trying to elevate our national conversation out of the realm of politics. It's very intentional, right? Like it's they don't want us getting out of that realm because it's how they control us. So again, they can label me crazy. I love when people label me anything, because by doing that, you're basically labeling Charlie the same thing, right? And so, cool, you can do that, but recognize what you're doing, and in that, use that and use that kind of logic that I just presented to combat this, because it is evil. And no, she didn't say that. She just said that, like, if Candace wanted to, she should look at my camera, which is the principle that I was just trying to echo, which is I think what we all kind of feel, and that's, show the tapes, and we would all love to see the footage. So.
Right. All right. So we got from Jane Seth Ruber. Can Mitchell tell us about his experiences with Candace and Charlie together? Was he the cameraman during those years when they traveled together?
So I was not. I was actually still very young at that point. I came out since 2018, 2017. So I was 17, 18, still in school. But I was there for a couple of moments. The one I remember most was right after, or maybe it was before, I don't remember the timing, but it was around the time that Candace and Charlie and Kanye were all running together. And I retweeted a tweet on this the other day. You should go find it. I might retweet it again. It's from a guy named John Mappin. He's actually, he's a donor of Charlie's. That's how we connected. And so, he's also saying the same things I am. Again, people who truly knew Charlie from the beginning, we're all kind of on the same side here. This isn't a leftist versus Republican thing. This is right from wrong. This is good from evil. And so them trying to use these labels, I just find it funny, because I'm like, we're not talking about the same things at all here. Like, you guys are playing your fantasy land. I'm living in reality, whatever. But the moment I remember most was, it was right around that time. Kanye West's manager was actually at an event. I was in Washington, D.C. It was the high school summit that they were having. And Kanye's manager was backstage. Candace was about to walk out. I was an intern for Turning Point at this point. And so they had thrown me on AV that day. I wasn't even an AV intern. I was interning for Field. Somehow I ended up on AV. Look where I am now, right? Just, again, divine providence, I guess. But I got to cue the song Ghost Town as Candace walked out with Kanye's manager backstage. And that was like, I was like a 17-year-old. It was like one of the coolest things. And, I didn't necessarily work up close and personal with them then. That being said, I was in like the same rooms and events as them, and got to see them speak and interact on stage together. And to think that as someone who knew Charlie, even myself, like when I left Turning Point, I went into my exit interview, came out and ran into him, and I was like, hey, can I speak to you for 2 minutes? Thanked him for, everything he had done for me over the years, the opportunities, the employment, whatever. And, kind of told him wasn't really seeing eye to eye with the company, but, me and you, dude, like, I will always back you, whatever. And it's not like he disowned me, didn't call me a friend, like was like, dude, if you ever want to come back, we'd love to have you. He was a complex individual. He believed in nuance. And that's what frustrates me most about Blake Neff and Andrew Colbert, is like they're trying to make it seem like him and Candace weren't friends when, if he was about to leave the Israel lobby, I bet they were about to become really good friends. And that's why, why this is a disinformation war. I'm not going to let them sit here and lie on my friend's name. And they can try and say what they want, that we weren't friends, that we didn't work closely enough, like whatever. I know the relationship we had. I was texting Charlie about my college admissions process as far back as 2017. So that's what friends do. And I feel like what I'm doing right now is what a friend would do for me if I was to end up dead mysteriously. 100%. So after waging war on the federal government too. So, it's again, for you guys, you can say you're his friends, you can say you stand for, but your actions and your rhetoric and the words that leave your mouth and the way that you treat others who truly loved Charlie just for who he was, not for what they could gain from him, indicates to me a much greater thing that you all fail to acknowledge every day.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I kind of went off. I'll let you keep going.
No, you're good. Yeah, John Mappin is who they stayed with when they went to the UK. He's the one that helped them, and that's when she met George. And John is also the one that released the BB letter when they were only releasing little tidbits of it, and they were lying about what Charlie was saying in there. He released the entire thing. Yeah. So I followed John on X too. I like him. I think he's a really good dude.
Yeah, I actually got connected to him. I was speaking to people on the back end as far back as like November, December.
Oh, really?
I was weighing, because for me, I was like, again, I had just taken this new job with the county. Again, I knew it's politics. I know the risks. I'm not an idiot, right? I'm aware. I've been in this game for half my life. So yeah, I was talking to people. John and I connected a while back, and so now it's just it was too much for me to bear. I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. Do you think it was? I don't know. Maybe you can't say this, but two questions. Do you think Mikey did reach out through a third person to tell Candace to look more into Andrew? And if you're allowed to, do you know who that was?
I don't know who it was or who it could have been. I know Mikey really well, and he's a really good friend of mine. His actions have, I don't know, not like confused me entirely, but there's just things where I'm very questionable of. I think that, much like me, he met Charlie when he was 17 or 18 and got thrust into an even larger position than I had, right? He became his chief of staff at that age, pretty much. And it's a big responsibility.
Were you recently injured in a car accident? Look at this check for 106.
Half at that age, pretty much. And it's a big responsibility.
That's crazy when you think about it with how young and he
Well, and I know the story there too. I was actually asked to like give recommendations for that position, and I suggested myself. It's a long story, not relevant. But anyways, like as far as he goes, I think that he's a good kid caught in the middle of something that unfortunately he might not have much control over.
Yeah.
And that's just going off of personal experience and relations. That's how I feel about most every one of these people, even the people that are being named personally. It's why I waited so long too to speak out, because I didn't want to ruin decades worth of friendships and relationships I've had over something like this. I thought we were all aligned in vision and motivation and fighting this fight for the same end goal. But it seems like somewhere along the way, something happened. People's values, interests, whatever got co-opted, or they're just too afraid to do anything, or they can't, or they're being controlled, or they're in contracts. I don't know. I don't know a lot of it. I'm just giving you the perspective of, as someone who for years questioned why I wasn't being welcomed into that inner circle, I'm thanking God every day now that I wasn't, that I am in the position I am, because I know I'm on the right side. I know I'm standing with Christ and ultimately where Charlie himself would be standing today.
Yeah, for such a time as this.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's go. You two click. This is incredible. And again, I'm Australian. What do I care? But this will be a legendary convo. Thank you, man. Next one we got Mitchell Manley is the true legacy of Charlie Kirk. Thank you for your courage, Mitchell. Knowing you are stepping into the lion's den for truth. Thank you, Matt, for hosting him. I hope to see much more. Thank you, Angela Brooks. Thank you.
Thank you.
We got Jim Carey. How can we support Mitchell? We love him. How can people support you?
For now, follow me on X, Artifacts Memoir.
I actually got you pulled up, so let's go.
I should get something set up here.
Well, also, a Mystic, can you throw his X account in the chat as well, that people can see it and they can go there, and then here. And we're going to get to this post in a minute that he just did, but this is Artifacts Memoir. This is where you can come and give him a follow. I'm following him. You would click on this. It would say black. It would be black, and it would say follow, and you just got to click on that. Let me go back so I don't lose the post that we have. All right, which we're going to get to that in a second. And then, once you have more set up, like YouTube channel and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just created the channel page yesterday. You can go. You might be able to go subscribe. It's Artifacts Memoir on YouTube.
Is it?
There's nothing designed on it. It literally should be up, I think. I don't know if it actually got made. I think I created it. And then I got to work on something. I'm writing a book. I'm trying to get merch out as well, like just for White Boy Summer stuff. Just little fun things. And then I'll come up with I don't know, like a buy me a coffee. I don't know. You can probably help me out with that.
Yeah,
probably know more than I do.
I'll help you out offline to get all that going.
Cool.
It didn't come up, but maybe I'm spelling it wrong. But I'll
look for it later. Yeah, no worries.
And then we can throw it up in the comment section of the video, because people will ask because some people that aren't watching this live, they're going to watch this afterwards. They're going to ask, where can we find him? And then I'll throw it in the description. Okay. Who do we got? MSF. What? The irony is, had the left won the presidential election, CK would probably still be alive. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
That and the MAGA movement would be stronger today, because Kamala Harris would be the one dropping bombs in the Middle East. And so that's my perspective, is like the intelligence agencies run the country.
Yes.
And the elections are smoke and mirrors. All of this is just fake.
Yeah.
They have the next 4 elections already planned out. They already, like, in cities like New York, Mamdani was already going to win regardless of who ran against him. Like, all of this is preset. The world is a stage, and we are the pawns. So you're 100% correct. I think Charlie would still be alive today. I think the MAGA movement would be stronger today. I also think Charlie would probably have gone on to become president one day if we had not elected Donald Trump. And the irony there is so dark. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But Yeah, you're 100% right. And people, Charlie was the best at saying this kind of stuff. People think that it's one of two options, right? We only have left or right, when it's not, actually.
No.
And that's what MAGA was supposed to be. Like they used Republicans, Charlie himself, Trump even used Republicans because it was a means to an end. It was a means to change this country. It was the most effective means to change this country without a revolution. And they co-opted that. And so now it's like, where do we go from here?
Yeah. I've said it a couple times, like, I'm not advocating for, they'd sooner push us into a civil war than a revolution. But we don't need a civil war. we need, if we need anything, we need a revolution.
We just need to take back this country and government for ourselves. And that's
from
like
the sickos that run it.
And that's what this whole presidency was supposed to be about. That's what I keep going back to it. Charlie trusted these people. We all trusted these people.
Yeah.
The people who are now profiting off of, again, this is the most corrupt administration in our nation's history. I know they're using crypto to do it. That doesn't mean it's not still corruption. Just because we're in the digital age, corruption is still corruption, theft is still theft, and we have to call it like it is. A spade is a spade. Like, I'm going to keep it a buck always. That's how I've always been.
Hello. My name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining us at our next
Well, and they're going around saying that they're the most transparent administration ever. You know, it's like these pastors that are all affiliated with Erica Kirk. It's like wolves in sheep's clothing. I don't know anything more evil than people that pretend to profess to be Christians and leaders of Christians. And like, you know, they actually have people's responsibility of like their souls, like leading them or not leading them astray, leading them in the right ways of God. And they act like they're good people and they're not. It's just some of the worst people ever. Started channel U2. I'm in. I think we're going to get him to start a channel for sure and get it going. All right. Love the conversation. I agree with all the things. Sending support and prayers. Don't back down. Christ is king and truth is everything. Thank you. Hey, you. I think this is my father-in-law. Yeah. What up, dude? What up, Pops? Son, you and your audience are working at changing the world. Go Max. Love, Pop. Thanks. Thanks, Pop. We got Lena. Thank you for speaking out. Do you have any insights into Charlie Kirk's relationship with Erica Kirk, especially toward the end? Do you think the rumors of CK discovering something and potentially splitting have any validity?
I want to be very careful how I answer this because I don't want to get sued.
Always start with my opinion.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, based only on my own personal observations and experiences and motives and coming from a broken family myself, is I think that there is reason to believe that, potentially. I think that there is reason to assume maybe that might be a potential motivation, right? I don't know for sure, obviously. But I think if we look through history, in any murder case, which this isn't the typical murder case, this is obviously a political assassination, but in any murder case, typically the first subjects are the husband or wife and the close circle, friends. I don't feel like any of those people were properly investigated by the FBI.
No.
Now, I've laid out my reasoning why I don't think they were ever investigated, why I don't think they will ever be investigated, because again, this is one big happy family that we are not in. And Charlie himself kind of built and put in place, but I think he was also on the outside of there at the end. When it comes to their personal relationship, I always questioned it. I didn't, having known Charlie from when he was 18, 19, I didn't see Erica as the type of person that he would partner with. I think that, I've said this before, I'll say it again, I think that, for us to assume that Charlie Kirk, for as intelligent as he was and effective as he was, could not have been honeypotted, I think is very naive. I think that if we look at how intelligence assets work, whether it's China or Russia or America, they have a history of putting women in the lives of very effective men and using them to bring about their downfall. It's biblical. It is. And so I think that, for people to label me, I hate Erica Kirk, I don't particularly care. I never liked her much, but I just never got it. I never really understood it. And, I say the same thing. I'll say it again. She went in for a job interview and is now the CEO. And the person who put her in that position is Tyler Boyer.
Yes.
And Tyler Boyer and Erica Kirk have known each other since 2015. I was in the room when they met, allegedly, or maybe they knew each other before. I don't know. It was at the first Trump rally that ever took place in 2015. They knew each other
before then.
Yeah. And so I was there, right? I was in the same room. There's a photo of it on my profile. This goes back over 10 years, right? And so these people all knew each other. I think the intelligence agency viewed Charlie an effective tool to bring us to this point. Truly, to 2030, the Great Reset. We're here. Like this is it. And Charlie was in the way of that. At the same time, he brought us right up into the point to bring about enough chaos to usher it in under our noses. That's how I feel. So I don't know. That's kind of a longer question on Erica, but I think she's just one of the many pieces of the puzzle that the deep state is using.
Yep. So I mean, I definitely think they knew each other before, because there was a phone call that Tyler said took place in order to get her there at the rally. So they didn't meet at the rally, right? There was this phone call that they both had referenced. They both have told different stories about when they knew each other, how long they knew each other. And then Erica actually refers to him as family friends, like knowing each other for a long time. She's on tape saying that. So, and then we have Tyler trying to get Erica to meet Charlie 3 times. And then the 4th is the New York Bob's Bills Burgers, right? Lori Franzfeld tries it in Israel. That's when, Erica sees him in a line but never gets to meet him. And then there is 2 at the headquarters in Arizona where one time she doesn't meet him, one time she does. It's just briefly. And then there's one more.
What's crazy is I feel like I might have been there, because if those were at events,
probably
stuff,
were.
It probably was. And that's I remember them. Oh my God, I remember them being like.
If you sit on the toilet, bear down, and barely anything comes out. You don't have constipation, you have poop paralysis. And the difference...
It probably was. And that's I remember them... Oh my God, I remember them being like, Charlie has to meet someone. Dude, I feel like I was there that night, actually. Because it was a big deal. Like Charlie potentially getting married. Again, it was a big deal. They were talking about it back then, for sure. I remember you saying that. I've had this happen now multiple times where talking to people will bring up stuff that I have memory hold just due to 13 years in this place. I feel like I was there, dude.
That's why, and Matt Tucerone just messaged me. We definitely got to do one, the 3 of us, with you and Matt, because you have this TP2Are inside track knowledge, and then he has the Turning Point Action inside track knowledge. And I just want to get you guys 2 together talking about different things and getting your, different memories. And I think it'll trigger a memory that you didn't know you had, and it will pop up kind of like right now what happened, all right, brutally honest, when was the last time you are able to talk to Charlie?
I mean, it wasn't like we had day-to-day conversations much ever, but I would say probably one of the last tour stops we did, which I think for me was Cruel. It was the last campus tour we did before the summer kind of kicked off, and then I did the donor event the faith event for them in August.
The pastors
Yeah, the pastor summit. Yeah, I was there for that. So it was probably sometime around April or whatever, and it probably wasn't anything substantial. It was probably just a passing joke about something a leftist had said, right? But again, we were, had known each other for so long. It's not like we needed to talk often.
Right. Well, and keep in mind too, people, that they were keeping Charlie so freaking busy. Right. And insulated, right? Being able to that's the thing they do too, restricting access to someone as privilege, and only certain people get that privilege.
It's textbook manipulation too. If you look at the characteristics, dude, they literally got him to move his company from Illinois to Arizona.
Tyler did that.
Talk about isolating someone from their family and friends, bro. You move him all
Tyler,
yeah.
And he knew that he could manipulate the political system there too. All of his strings that he could pull is out in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And who else was out there? Erica.
Yeah. I know, dude. Trust me.
Freaking A.
Trust me, I know.
What's your new channel called, Mitchell? I just tried to look it up. Do you know how many YouTube channels are called Artifacts, dude?
Hang on. Let me see if I can find it right now. I might be able to send you a link actually if I'm signed in here. We could.
Yeah, please do, and then I'll put it up for everybody.
Yeah, there we go. Here, let me. YouTube Studio, is that where I gotta go? Hang on.
You pull it up while I read these, okay?
All right, yeah, go ahead.
All right. So the new TP2Are compound and collecting data from all applicants and the geofencing and data centers, and now we have Section 219 to merge the IDF with our military. Now we know who's infiltrated the deep state, Israel. Yeah.
Bingo.
The Show Faith by Works FARA filing, the Clock Tower X FARA filing, both are through the Foreign Ministry of Israel. The Clock Tower X, and that's why if you guys want to know if your church is a good church, you need to go to the Show Faith by Works FARA filing, and it has just hundreds of churches listed on there that if you go into those churches on Sundays, your phone is going to be grafted into this technology where it's going to be sending you pro-Israel, anti-Palestinian propaganda, and they're going to geo-track you, geofence, and Christian universities are on the FAR filing too. It's not just churches and all the TP2Are events after Charlie's death. So
I just sent it to you, Matt. It should be up.
Yeah.
I just got my profile picture there too. It's the same one on Twitter. So.
All right. Oh, awesome. I'm going to copy and paste this into my email, and then I can pull it up. We'll go to the next one. Here we got, shout out your new channel, Mitchell. Okay, I'm doing it, guys. Multitasking. Here we go. Because then I can pull it up through my email. I don't have my phone connected to my computer, but here we go. I'm going to pull it up. Give me a second.
By the way, like 2 days ago, I said I wasn't starting a channel or a podcast, so this is just like the people want it. I guess I'll do something. I don't know. We'll see.
No, you should have told me ahead of time, because this is the perfect time to do it, man. So that we can boost it for everybody. Here we go. All right, so you guys come here. I just subscribed. I can say I'm your first subscriber, dude. There we go.
Dang, there you go. You just earned a free White Boy Summer t-shirt once I get them made.
When you guys come here, don't just hit subscribe. You also click it again, and you have to click the all button, or else it won't let you know when he does his future lives or post videos, okay? And then, let me go back here. I'll remove, and then I'm going to put this back on, because we are going to get to this video. I got to see, how far behind am I on all of these? Okay, I'm not far behind. We're almost caught up, all right? And then we're going to watch the video with Charlie talking about Elon Musk, and then we're going to hop to that X post, all right? Here we go. Thank you for speaking genuinely to Charlie. You are also his David, Mitchell. Christ is king. That's a really good compliment, actually, because that was something that he said to Candace Owens. So that's a really good compliment. Love you from Australia. New follower here, Matt. Thanks. Oh, good citizen. Thank you. We got quite a few Aussies that follow us. I just have to say, any Aussie following us, I hope you're not an Aaron Milan fan. Please don't be an Aaron Milan fan. He's the worst, dude.
And hey, Aussies, don't feel like just because y'all are over there, y'all are out of this fight. This is good versus evil. This is not America. Like, this is much larger than anything, and I think we all know that. And we appreciate your support, because
they're doing it in all the Western countries.
Yeah, it's happening across the world, and we all know this, and it's happening in different ways. And these demons are very deceptive, and that's what they're doing. So the more we can all band together as one in Christ alone, regardless of political party, regardless of national identity, the stronger we will be. So thank you, truly.
Yeah. They want us in the left versus right paradigm, which is just, we all need to be wise that that's just two sides of the same coin. And there's this other secret uniparty behind those two parties. You know, the founder said one of the worst things that could happen to our democracy is a two-party system, because you end up picking the lesser of two evils. You end up voting against someone instead of for someone, because, like, I don't know. And I said this the other day that, I mean, there hasn't been
just one simple change when filling out your FAFSA to cut your EFC and SAI in half. So you can.
It's like, I don't know. And I said this the other.
All right, let's talk a little bit there. So what do you guys think so far? When you guys watching it, what do you all think? We have an hour and 28 minutes tops we watch it. So what do we all think so far, what we heard? And regarding about everything, like I said, even with the fact that, you know, Erica didn't even want to go inside, I think that's just totally wrong. Come on, that part. I mean, that's her husband. She should want to go in there. That she didn't want to do nothing. I mean, this young man here, he's speaking his mind. He's telling American what's going on. He's not hiding. He lost his job. He's been censored on X for speaking his mind out. That's, hey, you know, you don't have to stay here, buddy. Because no one's going to force you to stay here. Is he the real deal? Well, he used to work for, like I said, he worked for U.S.A, although he is a real deal. I mean, he's basically speaking out there. He's speaking on his mind exactly what's going on there. I don't get what you guys, what do you guys all looking for? Are you guys looking, do you guys want the truth, or you guys want to stand behind your keyboards and go along with fake news? Because he's basically speaking and truly really what's going on. He's telling the American what's going on here, and he's basically telling us that we're basically, our own administration is right now is distracting us. They're distracting all the bullshit. And I mean, with a lot of things that I've seen myself, is that what people have not been arrested. Do you guys feel like it's time for people to be arrested? Do you guys, my question is, do you guys really think it's time for people to be arrested? Yes or no? Yes, you want to ask the question, is Charlie Kirk really dead? You know what, there's a lot of things out there, man. But the thing is, I say that the other guy, he did not shoot Charlie Kirk. That did not happen. He was not the shooter. That I could say for a fact. That he is not. He was not the shooter. He is not the shooter. That guy in there, Tyler Robinson, was not the shooter. I mean, there's no way. But my question is for you guys, I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think was going on here? Are you guys okay with it? I do not believe he did it. No, he did not. I do not believe he did it. I mean, he did not. I believe that he did not do it. Hold on. I do not believe it. No, I don't. I truly do not believe he was a shooter. I don't believe it was. I believe right now they're just trying to close this case up, say he did it, but why would they not show the video? That is the biggest problem. Why would they not show the video? That is the biggest problem there. Why was the video not... Why would they not want to show it? That's the biggest thing. Still today, they don't want to show it. What, you know, Israel has a lot to do with what's going on here. I do not support Israel. I know that a lot of people want to support Israel. I think that we need to really seriously... We really do need to start focus on our own country, man. Focus on the American people. And screw the other countries, man. Right now, we're all Israel. I think Israel starts all this shit Israel does, and we all want to get fucking involved in this shit. We need to stop. We need to stop. You know, like the microphone, the explosion, the whole thing. We need, you know, Israel had a lot to do with this shit, man. I don't know, it's just a lot of corruption going on. A lot of corruption going on. I mean, I'm very, very tired of what's going on these days. But we need to get back to the video. We've got more to go, because I want to get at least 2 hours tonight. I do.
Hey, I mean, there hasn't been, except for Trump and J.D. Vance, but like I said, I think it was yesterday, the night before, the reason why I really believed that they were going to, follow through on their campaign promises was because they had made these promises to Charlie. Charlie was vouching for them, and I believe that Charlie believed them, and that they wouldn't lie to Charlie. And I know Charlie wouldn't lie to us. So I know that he genuinely believed that they were going to do what they said they did.
Truly. Yeah, no, for sure. It's betrayal and deceit from the highest level. And they use innocent Christian men to do it. And it's textbook. You just have to look at the Bible. This isn't the first time in history it's happened, right? We're trying to be told that it's something it's not. And the people who did it, I think, are the ones who are telling us those things. So.
What did you think? Did you watch Tucker Carlson's speech at his memorial when he?
I was there.
Were you really?
I was on the floor. Yeah, it's a whole other story. We can unpack it with Matt. Maybe we can make that one a little bit more casual and like personal. And tell some stories. But yeah, no, I was down there. I had reached out to.
You want to change your life today? Make a decision. Focus on where you want to go instead of what you're afraid of. Really create your life.
Personal. Tell some stories, but yeah, no, I was down there. I had reached out to people I've known my entire life, people I worked closely with. I offered my services as a camera operator. I did a lot to try and get in there initially, and I was kind of stonewalled from the floor, which...
Well, they had already selected the media company that was going to run that event, dude.
Well, I mean, the guys I toured with were also, running some of that. So there was weird. Like, it was weird from the beginning, and I managed to get down there thanks to a friend, but... Now, we'll talk. It's a whole thing. I was there, though, yes, in his speech. Yeah.
Did I read this one? Okay, thank you so much. Finally, someone speaking truth that was close to Charlie. Everyone should share this episode. You are in my prayers, brave one. Thank you, Elizabeth Minton. We're almost there, you guys, and then we're going to get on with the show. Okay, Auntie Penelope, you are not crazy. Thank you and be safe. Christ is King. Thank you, Auntie Penelope. Christ is king indeed. Did you ever notice how fake Erica was while at Turning Point?
I'm only laughing because I saw her like twice, I think, in the 13 years I was there. The one time I remember most was I think it was 10-year anniversary of Turning Point USA. That also was their kind of staff and friends and family wedding reception. They had a bunch, obviously, but this one was for TP family. And there's a photo of me that I don't have that I know exists of me and one of my ex-girlfriends and Charlie and Erica, because they did like a whole everyone gets a photo thing. And I didn't really get it at the time. It didn't make sense to me. I looked at the kind of work Erica was doing, which was like, pro-Christian. She had Bible in 365. She had this kind of failing streetwear brand.
Yeah.
It felt fake. None of it felt real to me. And so at the time I was skeptical of it, but at the same time I was like, okay, Charlie, like I trust your judgment, bro. Like I trust you. I'm obviously not gonna put my 2 cents in there because that's clearly not as outside of my wheelhouse, right? Like do your own thing, like but I was skeptical of it from the jump. Yeah. And then she also was never really involved in Turning Point USA, in the operations of things. She was always kept out of that. And so then to see her immediately assume control, which in my opinion, I don't think she's in control of anything. I think Tyler Boyer is still the one pulling all the strings and calling all the shots. And, they're using the emotional kind of whiplash that they can via Erica to push a lot of that through. And it's, again, you just have to break it down and call it for what it is. And it starts to make sense.
Were you there at the Andy Biggs rally?
I'm trying to remember. I think I might have been. I don't remember if I've seen the video. I'll have to know the date, but I think I was. Again, I've also done contract work for Turning Point Action before in the past. Yeah. I don't know. I think I might have been because I remember that setup, that dark room in the red. I've done so much for them over the years in so many different capacities. It's hard. I didn't remember until last night that I was, filming the We the People versus the Oligarchs speech, which happened at the Arizona rally where RFK endorsed Trump. And it's I knew I was there for RFK. I didn't really realize that was the same day, and it's just
it blends together.
Insane. So 13 years is crazy.
Yeah. Hey guys, do me a favor. We have 4,000 people here, which is amazing. We got 1,600 likes. We can do better than that. Just hit the like and subscribe. It's the best free way to help support a channel, and it'll help this video get to more people. You want more people to see this video, hit the like, and it helps the algorithm realize that it's a good video. All right, we got God bless your bravery. Please be safe. The world is watching. Thank you, Kristen. Is it Kristen or Christy? And then we have Mystic, there you go. Meech, DM me your YouTube link when you can.
I just broke 100, so thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm about to refresh. It was at 99, and I'm sure it is 102
You guys, we can do better than that. You guys, we have 4,000 people here. You guys, we could get everyone to go over to his channel and just hit a button. It's free. You just hit a button. All right. For the mods, Jesus is coming to stay. So stay prayed up. I agree. Be ready. Be vigilant. Renita Sophia, thank you for joining us, Meech. She's another mod of ours. It is such an honor. Please let our BLB community know how we can support you on your journey. Is there a payment platform we can support? Go Meech, Christ is King.
All right, you're gonna have to help me get that set up after this, Matt, and then I'll let you blast it out because I didn't want to be here, guys. I'm doing this because I couldn't not anymore. I sat in the new job I took and I ignored my feelings and I stayed off Twitter and I honestly was starting to kind of self-destruct because I couldn't stand what was happening and I was hopeless and I didn't think that there was any goodness left in the world. And then I got on Twitter one day and I spoke out against Tyler, and yeah, he blocked me, but
most women don't realize how fast lymphatic drainage works. Here's what happens inside your body in the first 7 days. After your first dropper, your system absorbs.
Day, and I spoke out against Tyler, and yeah, he blocked me, but in the interim, there were hundreds of people who came to my support. Candace Owens retweeted me. That was the first thing that kind of sent me, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not crazy. Like, I people agree, I can feel like I'm not insane, and so, yeah, I guess just help me out figuring this out. I'm like, I've been in the space, but I'm new in front of a camera. So, any advice y'all have, I'm happy to help. And thanks for helping me out, Matt.
100%. We got Heather. The four is the okay. Real Heather. They pressured Charlie to date and marry her. Yes, they do. I actually have proof of that. So James Cadiz said that when he first met Charlie and Erica was there, he said, and James Cadiz, who is Erica's like pastor for Proclaim and Bible in 365, he was there at the trial last week giving interviews like Frank Turek. They're all Calvary Chapel pastors: Rob McCoy, Frank Turek, Jack Hibbs, Greg Laurie, James Cadiz. And they're all Zionists, right? James has said time and time again, and he's the one that did their premarital counseling, that he told Charlie, you have to marry Erica now. You have to do it now, or else God's going to take the blinders off of her eyes, and she's going to see you for what you really are. And that she is the thing that's going to bless you and Turning Point and take it to the next level. Without her, it's not going to be blessed. He was doing passive, spiritual manipulative things like that, saying he's a prophet, he hears from God, and telling Charlie what to do because God told him. It's freaking disgusting.
It is.
Yeah. You explained how you could tell that they isolated Charlie. Was this in hindsight, or could you tell when you were working for him?
I felt it happening in real time. It was a big complaint of mine. When I left in 2023, I gave an exit interview to an individual who, I'm now questioning if what I said to him even made its way to Charlie.
Is it supposed to? Is the exit interview supposed to make it to Charlie?
Don't most exit interviews make its way to the CEO? In a normal company?
It should, yeah.
So I was under the assumption that this was normal. Again, nothing that happens at that company is normal. None of the corporate structure is normal. None of the promotions are based off of the work you do. It's all based off of, it's a political high school at the end of the day.
Yep.
So yes, I noticed that taking place. As someone who was there from the beginning, I noticed the ideological shift from a fundamental level. This was no longer a grassroots organization that believed in principle. This was a Trump machine. And I saw that and I had my concerns, but at the same time, this was before 9/10. This was before all of this. This was, the Western democracy's at stake and Trump's our best shot, which, I guess maybe was a belief. It's obviously not the case now because they're working for the same people. So my point being, I gave it my best shot from the perspective I could as a young person navigating the corporate world. Mm-hmm. I wish I had more courage then to just text my friend Charlie, but also I don't know if he even had full control over that. I don't know to what degree this man was managed and insulated. And I watched again over time, it just felt like he was isolated from his core mission to becoming a political activist, and that was done via the studio and such, the Charlie Kirk show, which was the core people who are now kind of proclaiming his message, which to me falls flat on its face when you compare the things that he would say, that I would record for 3 hours a day in front of students. And that's again, when it comes down to so much more than just a politician or political activist, a talking head. He was a spiritual leader in this nation, the strongest one arguably that we've had in decades. And he was changing the hearts and minds of the youth, and he was getting them to think critically about not only their government, but about the real cost of their actions and where their souls are, and also just like the spiritual war that we've been in since the day that Christ died. And again, to expect these things not to happen, I think is naive. As Christians, we should be sober-minded about the fact that we are told we will face persecution. We will be killed for the statements we make, for not, budging on truth. It's why we see all of these people who are too afraid to speak up because they don't want to get killed. I get it. All right, I'm very sober-minded about this thing. I lost my mother when I was 23 or 24. 2 years later, I watched Charlie get killed. Like, I get it. This world, we're not meant for this world. It's temporal, right? We can't take any of this stuff with us anyways. I can't take the job I just lost with me. I can't take the salary I just lost with me. What I can take with me is my soul, my values, the things that I know I lived for, and the fact that, when and if I do perish, like, I can at least say that I did the tough thing or the right thing when it was tough, right? And that's what it is for me. So I noticed it. I did as much as I could internally. That's the only reason why I went back as a contracted videographer, was because it wasn't with Turning Point USA. It was with Charlie directly. I was one of 3 people in his direct kind of eyesight for 3 hours a day, and it was awesome. It was the experience of a lifetime. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Hello. My name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining us at our next investment.
For 3 hours a day, and it was awesome. It was the experience of a lifetime. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Getting to amplify his message again, that was so much more than political. I realized that there were moments, because again, you get in this environment, you listen to Charlie for decades, you start to tune a lot of it out. I was very guilty of that, and I had a moment where we were at a campus, and I noticed that this wasn't political anymore. This was Charlie was speaking to the youth in a way that, yes, there was politics underlying, but like, he was saving souls, dude. He was a warrior for Christ in a way that they couldn't handle. So they had to kill him. And that's what they did to Christ. And it's again, to expect people like him, people such as myself, to not face persecution from the world, I think is naive. So like, again, I'm very aware of that. And that's why I waited as long as I did, because I knew it would happen. I just kind of had to wait to see if anyone else was gonna do the right thing. And I haven't seen very many people do it yet. So.
Yeah. And I was going to say too, like 9/11 and like any of these major traumatic events, like we remember what life was like before and then after, and that like in the last 10 months we've gone through such an unveiling of so many things in such a short amount of time. Sometimes it's hard to remember that, like, no, a lot of us, well, I can speak for myself, we're kind of naive to a lot of things, that really Charlie's assassination, like, just, it woke a lot of people up to a lot more. And I think some people's process already started on that beforehand, but I think it really, so not knowing who could be trusted and who couldn't be, and like who was isolating him, it's definitely, I think, apparent now after the fact. Some of these people like Maureen Menez, Stacey Sheridan, Tyler Boyer, I think Andrew Colbett's a bad guy, not a good guy. He's the one that most likely went back to Miriam Adelson, right? And said that statement that Trump made was only in front of Charlie and Andrew, right? And then, Charlie didn't say it. So, all right. Were you in Aspen when Charlie Kirk named EK as his successor? Thoughts on the video? So no, you weren't there.
I wasn't there, but I will comment on this because I think it's interesting. Yeah. I was in their productions department, obviously, in 2022. 2023, I was making deep fakes for Jack Posobiec using AI. I also taught
no way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I put a whole tweet about this the other day. You can go blow it up if you want. Just go to my profile and search deep fakes. You'll find it. And so, yeah, it was when the Trump trial was happening, actually. You talk about manipulating justice. Again, I look back on it, and the deepfakes were so god-awful that, like, it's embarrassing now. But, again, in hindsight, it's really interesting, and it's why none of these people's behavior necessarily surprised me. But all that to say, you know, I was one of the first people like, hey guys, we should maybe clone Charlie's voice and use it, you know, if we can't get him in the studio. He had such a busy schedule. Getting him in for recordings was hard sometimes. We needed audio clips. We needed one-liners, you know, whatever it was, whether it was a tail end to a video or a call to action, whatever. We had decades of his footage. We may as well just have a clone we can use, right? And that was something I talked about. I kind of showed them how to do very novicely back in the day, 11 Labs. So for them to come out here and be like, oh, this is not AI, we'd never use AI, we believe in the truth, it's like, bro, I was there. The veil, the line between truth, what actually is very thin, and you guys are willing to push it. I myself was at times for the sake of certain things. I think there's some good in that, right? But at the same time, we have to be real about what's happening right now and kind of what point in the timeline we're in. 3 years ago is different than what's happened now since Charlie Kirk's been killed. So I think that, you know, I wasn't there for that video. I'm skeptical of the video for sure. Very skeptical of it. Yeah. I'm heavily skeptical, actually, incredibly skeptical because of what I just said, which is that I showed them 3-4 years ago how to make AI videos of these people, of our enemies, such as, you know, leftists. And then to think that in the 3-4 years that AI has made advancement wise, it would be impossible, I think is very, again, naive. They expect you all to just be naive, good goyim, you know, and that's just, it's insane to me.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's so many things wrong with that video, right? They add music, they cut it up into 2 separate parts, they put a still photograph in between, they're putting videos in front of it, and then the video itself doesn't match Candace's video, like where the mic is in different places where Charlie's holding it. There's issues with, like, his fingers, his teeth, his eyelid.
The and water, then, too, I've seen those, like, just...
Oh, yeah, the
really
TV
small details.
Yes, yeah. And then also... even to take all that away, and if it's just this one thing, it kind of destroys it. He looks like he's saying it in jest. He looks like he's being sarcastic. If he says it at all, if it's real at all, and it's just taken out of context, he didn't look serious, honestly. So, I mean, there's on so many different levels why I think there's something wrong with that video. All right, we got Christ is King indeed. Add a link to his channel in the description, please. All right, I think Mystic already put it in the chat, and then I will. I can't do it during the show, but I'll do it for sure.
Got a reply from Candace. That's insane.
You did?
Yeah, she's retweeted me twice. This is her first reply. That's awesome. Thank you, Candace. I appreciate that.
Try to find are you on the deep fake one? Which one?
No, it's the one I put out last night of we were deprived. This man is our president. We deserve better. He deserved better. I said, may God save our republic. She threw a cross underneath. I'm like, let's go.
That's amazing. Gosh, I lost it. I don't want to lose track of this. I was trying to find the deep fake one, and it took me...
Dude, I know. We have, like... I don't have that much time, and I feel like we have barely even scratched the surface. We can do another one. Like,
we should definitely... How much time do you have left, by the way?
I'm already late to an event, so we can go for another 15, and I'll...
No.
Stop it. No, it's hard stop. I don't want to cut right now. We're good. Let's keep going for 15, and
all right.
We'll cut it off.
All right. And then I'll stay on, too, because I can play some stuff for everybody as well. All right, Artifacts Memoir, YouTube.
And I promise you I'll come back. I promise.
Yeah, and we're gonna get you, me, and Matt Tuzzarone. Sub Mitchell, good. Did you refresh it? What are you at now?
God, let me go check. Hang on. I'm trying to tear down Paramount Tactical's lies. I'm trying to dude. There's so much.
What is he saying right now?
Bro, he's out here posting internal documents from Turning Point USA that go back from 2019, and I'm like, there's an indication that these people are working together. You tell me this isn't a federal deep state cover-up.
Did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were in a car accident up to 1 year ago, even if you weren't?
Federal deep state cover-up. This dude, who no one knew of outside of the Gun Tuber channel, right? Like, correct. Is all of a sudden going to bat, making it his life's mission to tear down Candace Owens. Excuse me, who are you? Why do you care? You never care. I never heard your name once in the 13 years I was working for Turning Point USA. You are irrelevant. No. Stop using this dude's death to make yourself seem cooler than you are. You federal agent. You government contractor. You are a documented government contractor.
Yeah,
stop
he's a useful idiot. Before he got the contract, he was. It could not be a 30-06 because he's like the shirt movement doesn't make sense. Yeah. The no exit wound. The entry wound doesn't look right. And then he was trying to explain the shirt movement with how Charlie must have been wearing some sort of low-vis ballistic vest, and then he realized, no, he wasn't wearing a vest. And right when he was around that time frame, then he switched sides. And then you're like, oh, that's when you also got a contract. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, my goodness, dude. Oh, wait, did I read that? I said, thank you, fantastic interview. Thank you, Brian. We got, hi, Mitch. Did you ever meet Victor Marx, and what did you think about him? Big love.
I didn't actually meet him. I may have met him once, maybe in passing. I don't know. Again, like the way Turning Point would work, he was very open. People would just come to the office. I was in productions. We're doing Turning Point Live. It was kind of an experiment at the time, so we would always have people kind of coming in and out to be guests on there. This was around the time Kyle Rittenhouse was a thing. And Victor Marx became Kyle Rittenhouse's security guard.
Did he really?
They started a whole nonprofit together, brother. I just found this out the other day. They started a whole nonprofit together. Go look that up.
I will.
And so I think that, again, I'm a man of principle before I am a man of politics.
Yeah.
Right? The principle is what guides my political party.
Yes.
And so I stand for justice before anything. And I watched these people do that with Kyle Rittenhouse. And I was very happy for them to do. That's why I supported them. That's why I worked there. Like, these people lived out what they said then. Now I'm watching these people do the exact opposite, right? And Victor Marx is one of those people. Victor Marx has also admitted to killing people.
Yeah.
Admitted it. And so I'm wondering now that he is, about to run for governor in Colorado, is there a sense in which he was promised that seat, for whatever his potential role may have been in this assassination? Because we know he allegedly used to care for, innocent until proven guilty. He went to Rittenhouse's defense real quick. I think they started a nonprofit together. I might be wrong. I don't want to get sued, but I feel like I just looked that up last week.
Well, you could just say, in your opinion, to the best of your knowledge. I'm trying to find out. I thought, did he win the won something? Victor Marx secured the Republican nomination for the governorship of Colorado. But the general election has not yet taken place. But he's going to be in the general election. Okay, he made it into the next round. That sucks. That's not good for Colorado. Oh no, one of my mods lives in Colorado. Glenn, we got to get you out of there. While you look that up, I'm going to read this by Hey You. I bet the exit interview didn't find Charlie. Mostly they're conducted by HR and stop there. Yeah, but here's what's interesting.
I have an interesting point too. Say yours and I'll say mine. Okay.
There was something that happened. I forget what it was. Matthew Tuzzaroni brought it up with Tyler Boyer, and Tyler Boyer made himself the HR guy during that so that he could fix that whole thing. There was like an article written about it. So, I mean, like, Tyler Boyer could pull strings within Turning Point and Turning Point Action to, like, make things disappear, to control things. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so, like, the guy I gave my exit interview to, I just recently saw a photo of him at the Founders Ball that Turning Point had, and I believe he was elevated to a position of director of some kind, right? And so, again, going off the theory that I've had, which is, like, this company that was insulated with federal agents and then loyalists that didn't challenge, the right things in the right way, that were kind of acting like they did. It very much kind of supports that belief. I'm also trying to find out if he is the son of the Christian evangelist Eric Erickson, because his name is Dylan Erickson, and their last name is spelled the exact same way.
Probably.
And I was incorrect. I guess ATP Ministries was just started by Victor Marx, not Kyle Rittenhouse.
Okay.
I want to correct myself there.
There you go. That's good. They use it to protect the company and against you. If you ever want to be rehired, they have no rehire lists. Thank you, Hey You. And then we got Fact and Fiction. We got please help us all learn how to get set up with new channel. I'm needing help. Spread truth and Christ Jesus also.
So if you take the @ under my name, it's in my @ Artifacts Memoir, just type that into YouTube. It should come up. I made the handle the same.
Perfect. And then I'm pretty sure Mystic threw it in just the regular chat, not the super chats, but the regular chat. And then we'll put it in the branch description. I'll even post it on my X as well. Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, Candace Mystic just showed me. She put Candace put the heart underneath you. That's dope, dude. That's good. All right, let's continue. I know you got a little bit of time left. Please comment on the setup changes on 910, i.e. the audio, microphones, chair, stage, shirt, etc. What do you think about the exploding mic hypothesis?
Yeah, there's a lot about that event that doesn't make sense to me as someone who's there. The platform seems unreasonably high compared to any ones that we've used in the past. I've said this multiple times. I'll say it again for your audience. We used to run occasionally 1 to 2 inch platforms that would give Charlie's chair about this much lift. And in the photo that I've seen from behind, it looks to be about 4 to 6 inches higher, which was interesting to me and a cause for concern just normally. The amount of people who were there that normally weren't there, Blake Neff never came to tablings.
Nope.
Andrew Colvette was there. He never was really sent out. Maybe he was occasionally. I don't know. But again, it was very much Charlie, Mikey, security. It was a slim crew because we're traveling all the time across the country. You can't afford to pay for that many people's travel. So the amount of people that were there to me was just
insane.
Weird. I don't know why.
If you were locked up at any Illinois juvenile detention center, such as Cook County, the Audi home, or any...
I don't know why Tara was there. I'm going to say that again.
He was at a previous event a long time ago.
He would come, I'll clarify this. He would come to events that we typically had.
We'll pause it right here. Actually, we'll finish. We're going to finish soon here, and that's it. After this part, we'll finish there.
Tandem with other events. So what we would do is sometimes Charlie would go to a campus and he would host a tabling, and then later that night we would have a speaking event. It was ticketed. Indoors. And it was indoors, and we had a guest speaker come, whether it was a politician or somebody, and Tara would help facilitate that setup while we were outside running the cameras for the normal day. He would be in the arena, kind of preloading stuff. We would come in after, set up cams, and go, because it had to be that fast. Then, for example, in Georgia...
That's exactly where we need to be right there. All right, I want you guys to now tell me what y'all think. What do y'all think of everything we just heard? You guys heard the whole thing. I want you guys to tell me exactly what you guys all think. What is your thought? And I know there's going to be some people thinking, no, well, no, like I said, what I see... Why do I need YouTube permission? I don't need YouTube permission. I'm allowed to live stream. But I like to know what does everybody think of everything that's going on? I mean, what do y'all all think about what the man was saying? What do we all think what the man was saying? Oh boy. What do we all think? I mean, the whole thing, I think that I still don't, the fact that, you know, that was her husband that's in there, and she couldn't even go there and couldn't do nothing. I'm so frustrated with everything that's going on. I think that with President Trump, he needs to start waking up, because he's losing his base. He is losing his base, because there's a lot of people these days that you know, they should have been arrested. It's not like you're trying to, you know, defend her, man. I don't like what's going on. I don't. Oh, come on, car. Quiet. Well, I don't like that. I don't like when I see what's going on. I think it's time for President Trump to start waking up and start smelling coffee. It's time to really, seriously, we need change. It's time to start people get arrested. You know, and Turning Point U.S.A, they, don't worry about what's in there, okay? It's none of your business. Make your business later. Okay? But, you know, it needs to come down to where, you know, Turning Point U.S.A needs to go out there and show people the camera. If they have nothing to hide, there should be no reason. They should have no reason to hold that camera back. We need to start seeing cameras, start seeing things we need to see. Right on. But I don't know. You guys, I mean, I gotta go do things. I mean, you guys, I like to say thank you guys for all tuning in there. Thank you very much. We got more to watch, but we already did 2. This is part 2. There's a third one. The third one will be the final one. That will be the final one, hopefully. It's a long one, but you guys all can come back. I know. You guys go ahead and enjoy your night. God bless y'all. Bye. Let's see, you gotta get there. Alright, so we got that done.